Here we go. No losses, just lessons. I'm your boy Mike Trigg. This young lady here is
Saba Baptiste.
And today,
Hello, Tampa.
Today we're coming with knowledge.
Right. We have
power.
Right. We have two subjects we want to discuss with the public and probably add some knowledge in the process. So one of the things that we're going to talk about are the pillars of making a strong family. What are the steps and what are the key ingredients in that? So since I did a little bit of research on it, and what I found out over and over again is some of the elements are effective communication, shared values and traditions, unconditional love and support, and the ability to navigate challenges together. And those things kind of culminate, and there's some other areas that we're going to talk about. All of that feeds into open communications. That's a huge thing with building strong families. Mutual respect, that's one of the key pillars as well. All of these are key pillars that I'm mentioning. Emotional safety and adaptability. And they describe open communications and the importance. Clear and honest communication is essential for resolving conflict, like conflict resolutions, sharing concerns, and fostering understanding amongst family members. You want to dive in there and let's talk about the open communications piece?
Yeah, well, I'm gonna be honest with you. When we thought of this topic, I didn't think of any of those things. But when I hear you read them off, they're so important. You know, like the open communication, the emotion, because when you have a family, it's not a family of one. You know, you got a wife, a husband, and children, and everybody has different emotions.
That's right.
And when you're a parent, all your kids are different.
That's right.
So you might can do this for one, and the other one might not need that type of love. So you got to be so well vested to understand all your children on their particular level to give them the particular love they need at the time they need it.
Exactly. That's so perfect, because one of the things that families, those winning families, have that time carved out, right? Let's all have a family meeting or a family get together, Sunday dinner. Let's talk about these things. What's on your agenda? What matters to you at this time? How can I help you with what's going on in your life?
Yeah. So right now, I'm a father of 9. We have a group chat. And
group chat is perfect.
It is. It really is. So in that group chat, we talk about daily issues they might have at work. You just might need my ear, or I might need their ear. You know, and we just use each other like it. It just the things that I am looking forward to with my kids and this family of mine. Man, it put a smile on my heart, because I cried many nights because I didn't ever think we would be where we are today.
Okay.
But you keep getting up, keep praying, and God keep blessing.
And keep working, right.
That's it. So I am, you know, go ahead.
Right. That's beautiful, because open communication is key, whether it's the family. And families look different, right? Families totally look different, and they change over time because a child grows up to be an adult, and so the parent plays a different role. It's with open communications as well.
I experienced that, and that was hard for me because growing up, Mike, I was his hero. And then when he became his own man, he didn't what's up, brother? He didn't walk to the beat of my drum. He walked his own way. You know, and I had to realize this is what I raised him to be. And I had to back up. Even my son DJ, we would have strong, intimate conversation. He would voice his opinion about something. I had to respect it. All my kids, you know what I'm saying? They have a part of me in them. So they're boisterous. I just say be diplomatic with it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And sometimes I understand their tone may elevate. It's not being disrespectful. It's just a passion that they're speaking with.
That feeds into the next pillar,
Okay.
mutual respect.
Right.
Right. How do you have that open communication and maintain and build that mutual respect?
Right.
You know, like you said, knowing the child, setting some ground rules, some boundaries, and allowing them to be as natural and as authentic as they can without crossing the line.
Right. So even like I said, sometimes their tone get elevated, but you got to understand, my tone elevates when I'm passionate about anything that I'm doing or saying. So they're my children.
Right.
So, you know, you can't say, hey, man, lower your tone. Yeah, your tone high. You know what I'm saying? So even if I am the father, but if you want that respect, you got to give it. You know what I'm saying? So I'm teaching DJ right now. We talk all the time, you know, with him and his girlfriend, soon to be wife or whatever, Sid. She's my daughter already.
Right.
And I just said, man, you should never talk to her with a high tone. It should be a pleasant tone. And if you can master that, you're gonna have great days ahead of you.
Right.
Because she gonna match your energy.
Energy.
You know? Go ahead.
And that's beautiful, matching energy, because that mutual respect, that's what it's really about.
Yeah, that's what it is. If
Right.
you match, you know, same. Yeah.
And if you're a passionate person, then of course your kid's going to be passionate.
Right.
And that's where you kind of like know where it's coming from.
Right.
So you're familiar with your kids, you know.
Yeah.
Now, one of the things that also, the third pillar of building a strong family is emotional safety.
Right.
And they describe that as an example.
Thank you.
They described it as an example of a person, child, parent can feel safe in sharing their emotions in that setting and not be demonized or minimized for it, and actually maybe can get some resolution if they are seeking some type of external support or help. What do you say about that?
Yeah.
That's a hard one.
It not necessarily. So I pick Mike up from Trinity School for Children every day, right? This is like elementary. And he'll say, Dad, what we gonna eat? So this one particular day I picked him up and they were doing a project in school where they was researching their grandfathers. And when he did research, and he put it on the computer, typed in his granddaddy's name, a mugshot came up. A mugshot.
Okay.
And it was so embarrassing. He just turned his computer off. He didn't do the project.
Right.
So he couldn't, when I picked him up that day, he said, I went and say, Dad, what we gonna eat? You know what I'm saying? He said, Dad, I got you what happened today at school. So he felt comfortable with me enough to share that with me.
Emotional safety.
Yeah, and I said, well, Mike, all I can tell you this right here. When you have kids and they do that project, they would say, damn, your dad did this, your granddad did this and this. You would never have, your grandkids never had that issue, bro. I can promise you. I'm gonna be, because I live for my children.
Right.
I live for moments like
Right.
that. And I just thought about that the other day. And that's how we call him. I'm gonna apologize to him about that again. It's out of my control, but, you know.
But you were there for him in his, in his vulnerability, emotional safety.
Oh, yeah.
And how did he handle it? What was the next day like, you know?
It was good. I think the teacher called me and I explained it to her. And she was like, yeah.
Teacher called you?
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So it you know, when you go to those schools, you go to private school settings, you know what I'm saying? They prepare to be there. Their children, you know what I'm saying? You know, so they, you know. So it was a situation where it was just tough, you know. You know, it's nothing that we could have done different.
Right.
You know, so I explained to him, I said, you just got to be the best person that you can possibly be in your life. You know what I'm saying? So when you have children, they always be proud.
Right. So and so they brought it down to number 4 pillar, adaptability. And that's what we do every day, right? And that's how we kind of prepare our children for the future. You have to adapt, you have to change. And so you want to share with us what that looks like in your family or your experience?
Well, adapting, for my kids, because all my kids are athletes, and they went from being great high school student athletes to college. And when you get to college, it's a little different. And they had to adapt, you know. You coming out, McKill's a 5-star. He came in. Mike didn't start at Georgia, but played and made contributions. So, you know, we talking about from an athletic and academic standpoint. I tell them, academics all on you. That's just effort. But athletically, when they put you in a situation, man, you got to know film, you got to study, you got to be a contributor. That's all you want to be. You want to be a vital part of that. And that's a part of adapting to the surroundings and understand that, yeah, they got everything out there for you. If you put the work in, it can be a little. High school regiments and college regiments are totally different. Are you going to be able to adapt, grasp this information to get on the field? And for the most part, they did. So, but I raised my kids for the pros with incentives, everything. I pushed them when they exceeded my expectations. I gave them money or a design or whatever they wanted. You know what I'm saying? That's how I raised it.
So I want to just attach adaptability with resilience and coping with challenges.
Right.
Because all families go through challenges. How, at a point in time with 9 kids, how did that kind of culminate into each one of them in terms of resilience and the differences and coping as they move through their ages, their challenges?
Well, it was hard. It was hard early on because, like I say, I cried for the relationship that I have for my children today. I wanted it back then, but I didn't have it. So it was resilient on their part and my part to get this relationship right.
Right.
That's so you gotta want it, and they wanted a relationship with their father just as much as I want a relationship with my children.
Yes, that's beautiful.
Even with my daughter, Yanni, she's a twin, and she's in the police academy. She's killing it academically. She scores in a 90th percentile on every test. So it's a block where you're supposed to, you gotta go shoot. And she didn't do well in the block because she didn't own a gun. You know what I'm saying? So I said, look, man, I don't own a gun. But I went with her. I said, well, it's just like anything else. You got to practice. I said, you got a gun? She said, well, I got a gun, but I can't take it from the academy. So we went and I bought her a gun. And, I said, I would take you to go shoot, but I just can't. I don't really like the noise of it.
Right.
So I still go out there and I just wait in the car in the parking lot while she shoot. You know what I'm saying?
So is she improving?
Yeah.
That's good. That's all it is, practice.
I don't even like being around guns.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
I'm not a gun person.
Yeah, that's so. But just for her to understand, she gonna win. So she gotta adapt.
Yes.
All that. And she's resilient because she say, Dad, man, I'm killing academically, but this block right here, and it's only because I'm not familiar with a gun. So I thank the Lord that I was able to have means to go buy her a gun.
Right. And that's problem-solving skills.
Right.
She knows this is what I need to do to solve that.
Right.
And so she doesn't have to get perfect. She just got to pass the exam.
Block, yeah.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. That's great.
So
I always come back to 9 kids because, I just recently did that.
Right.
So what kind of crisis, we talk about resilience, but what kind of crisis that you think you have had with your family dynamics and building those pillars? What kind of crisis you think?
Just didn't feel loved by my children. I felt like at one point, I was a paycheck. You know what I'm saying? Or it was just for monetary gains, something like that. And that really didn't come from my kids, but I think, I'm just being brutally honest, I think that, when you pay child support, but you don't have any rights, you know what I'm saying? So, and that was the hardest thing for me, you know what I'm saying? And because we haven't really had many crises you know what I'm saying, as a family. You know, everything that we've been through or we go through together today, we go through together. You know what I'm saying? So it makes it so much easier.
Right.
You know, I mean, like when I tell you, like my daughter, my oldest girl, she's a teacher in Houston, and she thought she broke her ankle yesterday, and she called me and her mom first, but then we put in a group chat. My other daughter in Houston, she was going to work. She went to the hospital with her sister. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, so like everybody's chiming in, carry you straight, boom, boom, boom. And emotionally, that's what it's all about.
That's what it's all about.
You know what I'm saying?
Having that right support.
Right. So right then, she knew, you know, I'm good. You know what I'm saying? So, and that's what it is. So.
And that's a strong pillar. That means that the family is also built on sustainability.
Oh yeah.
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 They can get to.
I talked to those guys about being the best family in Tampa, but when I say that, I'm not possessively of it. But I want us to be the best family in Tampa.
Right.
But I want your kids and you guys, I want y'all to be the best family in Tampa. And I think if everybody had that mindset, we'll get back to the people we used to be.
Yes.
You know, that's the whole point of when coming up with that topic. Talk about being a great family.
Right.
Because the Stevens were a great family. The Triggs were a great family. But it's like with the Stevens, it was like the best when my grandparents was living. I've never experienced anything like it.
Right.
And now that they passed on, transitioned to heaven, the family is not nowhere near.
Well, it passes on to you now.
Right. So yeah, exactly. So what I'm doing for my children,
right.
We emulate the behaviors that were set by my grandparents.
Right.
You know, but I'm teaching them now that when I leave,
right,
I don't ever want it to change.
Right.
You know, I have my stuff in a trust. You know what I'm saying? And so everybody's gonna have equal shares of everything. But you know, I want the love to be there. This is really not a fake family, because it makes me think about my dad. It made me feel that it wasn't real, because our grandparents, your mom and dad transitioned. Our grandfather started Big John's in '68, and it's almost like, man, y'all don't even talk, y'all don't even communicate, y'all don't even check on each other. You know what I'm saying? My uncle had to get another job. He don't even work at the pit. That's a job for him. His daddy built that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But they employ other people. So I mean, it makes it. I don't want my children to do that. If my kids need a job, they're gonna come in and work. If they say that, I gotta, you know, I say, look, I don't have that kind of money. You can come work some shifts. And you do it like that, and that will always be an open door for my children.
Right, and they should be.
Right, you know. How you doing?
That's very good.
All right.
So so again, like Mike said, these are the ingredients all of us can employ to have these specific pillars for our family, to build strong families. And this is educational. I hope you learned something from it, and I hope that you can use this, because families build strong families, communities, cities, states.
Strong families,
grows out.
Saba, strong families build even stronger communities.
Yes.
Hands down.
Yes.
Undeniable.
Exactly.
I just lost a thought. I was going to say something, but one of the most important things that you read for your research is the part that I think really communication.
Right, open communication.
That has to be, and you have to communicate a certain way with your children, and emotional intelligence, emotional.
Yes.
You got to have all that in point too, on point. But
yes,
you know,
so that's very good, because again, audience, the 4 pillars that we're discussing in depth is open communication, mutual respect, emotional safety, emotional intelligence as well, and adaptability. And those things broken down gives us a basis, a foundation for building strong families. And it's constant work, right, Mike? You have to work on it all the time.
I've been working on this since my kids since '96. Since my first child, since '96, and it gets better.
Right.
You know, it was some tough times in there. I'm not even gonna sit here and lie to you, and to think, you know. But I just know the Lord. He do all things but fail. And I prayed about this, man, and like I'm telling you, it's if you can see my heart, you know what I'm saying, it's overwhelmed.
So how do you think, with all the kids, how do you think they move through the extended family? How is it relationship-wise in these 4 pillars? How are they, you know, fluent in terms of integrating into extended family to build stronger and bigger families?
Right. So, so the communication that we have when we talk about relationships with my kids and their significant others.
Or relatives,
Right.
you know,
So
how is that?
I focus on my 9. I do. You know what I'm saying? But we have mutual respect for everybody. You know, but you know, we got to lead this. You know what I'm saying? So once we get ours together,
Right.
and then we can go out, and then, you know, but you know, my family still have functions at Big John's during the holidays. I haven't went recently, you know, because I'm really focusing on myself and my kids and my father.
Right.
You know.
Because you said something key. I don't want to be fake. I want to be authentic.
Right.
And so that takes time. That takes hard work within the clan.
So,
Within
and I've always taught my kids this: we don't go where we're not loved.
That's right.
We go where we love and not where we're tolerated.
Right.
So if I feel that, I just push back.
Right. I agree.
You know, and so that's what it is. I want to. We got 2 topics, but I want to say something.
Okay.
I want to go back for the one we had, like persecuting the athlete.
Okay.
We were so blessed. We were so blessed in the 813. We had 2 kids playing in the Final Four, college basketball. Janai Bloom and Emmanuel Sharp. And Janai lost in the Final Four. However, Emmanuel Sharp, he won in the Final Four. He lost in the national championship game to Florida, number 21. And they called the last play of the game for him. He didn't get his shot off. And somebody said, wow, the kid from Tampa lost the game.
Wow.
And
That's emotionally damaging.
right, but the thing about it is, anybody can say a negative comment or complain about something. I mean, it's so many things that you can do or say. He was voted the best player in the region in the Midwest region.
Right.
They don't probably get to the national championship game if he don't play. He don't play. You know, the fact that the coach wanted that play to go to him, and he wanted that play,
Right.
just didn't get his shot off.
Right.
So we talked about persecution of the student athletes, and here we go again. I mean, like, that kid should be celebrated. He is the most decorated player from Hillsborough County. There's only one player, Horace Broadnax, played for Georgetown, won a national championship. Has been to the Final Four more than Emmanuel Sharp. He's been to 2 Final Fours. That's a dream to get to 1. The dream is when you play Division I basketball is to get to the tournament. You just want to play in the NCAA tournament. Then you want to get to the Sweet 16. But to play in 2 Final Fours
Right.
and be a major contributor. So when the lady said something, I know his parents. I was watching the game, and I was like, it was almost like Mike was playing.
Yes.
Because we that close.
Right,
You know.
right.
I texted Dad. I said, "Hey man, it feel like my son out there." He said, "It is the village."
Right. And that's what strong families,
Right,
community, right.
And
Exactly.
you know, so when that comment came out, they told me his mom was really upset, and she should have been. But I'm telling the Sharp family, he don't need no defending. I'm just being honest with you.
Right.
He is the most decorated player in this era from the state of Florida.
so proud, right? Every person in Florida should be proud
from the
of that.
state of Florida.
Right.
You know?
Yes.
So, I mean, dude went to 2 Final Fours, 1 national championship game. He got another year left. In 3 years, he went to 2 Final Fours, 1 national championship. And you talking about he was the person that lost the game. Shit, if he don't play the other 2 games, they might not get there.
Right.
You know, so
all the work leading up to that, yes. She missed it.
So,
she missed it.
So, you know, the thing about that is, I'm not even worried about Emmanuel because I know, and I know the Lord gonna give him opportunity. He gonna put the work in. He gonna make it right.
Right.
That's it.
Exactly.
So you know, but I had to say that, man, because that was bad.
But that fits into this subject, community. It's the same principles and pillars we need to build stronger communities. You know, open communication, mutual respect.
Right.
You know, emotional safety and adaptability. So it grows out. We take care of our home first, and we grow it out. So that was really appropriate.
Oh yeah.
So I think we have elaborated enough on our first topic, the pillars of building a strong family, and I repeated those. So we're going to go to our second topic. It's going to be being number 2.
Being number 2.
Right, being number 2.
So I'm going to use my personal. I use all my personal experience anyway, but this right here is this is my good friend. Mm-hmm. So it's me and this guy named Kevin Williams. His jersey is right there, Green Bay Packers, Katie Williams. And John Madden loved him, you know, and so we grew up together playing for the West Tampa Boys Club. We played for the Spartans for the legendary coach Arthur Mayo, and Kevin will always be to the forefront because we beat on our pass coming to the game. And Coach Mayo would say, "Boy, I want to hit them pass when I get off the bus. I want to hit them pass in the stadium." And he'd be right there in the front, number 12, pop, 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 getting us going. We went to different high schools, and in high school, I got the better of Kevin, and I don't remember. I don't recall losing to Jefferson High School in football or basketball, and but we graduated. He went to college. I went to college. He fulfilled our childhood dream of becoming a professional athlete, and I didn't. You know, I think Kev played 5 years in Canada. 5 years in the NFL, got pitches in both, doing very well for himself right now. And I went to the Saints, got cut. Went to Tampa, got cut. Went to Minnesota, had a good workout there. Never caught on. So, and then Kev played Newt. He played Mike and Saba before me. You know what I'm saying? So when you talk about me and him being together in Tampa, he's Bruce Lee and I'm Chuck Norris.
Okay.
He's number 1. I'm number 2.
Okay.
But I have no problem.
Yes.
Being number 2.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I'm just being honest with you because we're good friends. And me being number 2 don't mean that I'm a less of a man or a person.
Right.
But I mean, he fulfilled what we was both trying to do.
Right.
And then he played the fraternity before me. You know what I'm saying? So I got to give him deference on that. But a lot of guys, a lot of people don't want to be number 2. And that's the problem.
Right.
So,
not everybody can be number 1.
Right. So just because I'm number 2 with KD, but in Alabama I am Bruce Lee.
Right.
You understand?
Somewhere else.
Yeah. But but when we together, and when I see him, Bruce, what's up? What's going on, Chuck?
Right.
That's it. Right. And people got to be comfortable in their own skin and give Bruce Lee or the person that's number 1 their props. I heard DJ Khaled. He's a millionaire. He said, when I'm in New York with my brother, Fat Joe, I walk on the left side of the road because if anybody gets splashed, they're gonna splash me. I get his door. He number 1.
Right.
Even LA, I watch LA play basketball. Charlie Brett, him and Charlie, they love to play together. But when they play together, Charlie Brett is number 1. LA be trying to get in the ball, pass the ball to Charlie because he that dude. LA number 2 in that on that team. So people gotta understand that, and if we did, we have real friends. Hey, LA, come here for a minute, man. Just stand right here, man. Get on camera with me real quick, bro. No, I was just telling him. Yeah. So this dude right here raised me up, man. taught me a lot about everything. The person I am today, I compete in everything because I played on this team, and he couldn't have no other way. He said, "Hey, if it get confrontational, so fucking what? We gonna fight."
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I was just speaking about when you play ball with Charlie Bradley. You know, Charlie Bradley number 1, he number 2. Ain't no thing. But to me, when when I'm on his team, he is number 1. You know what I'm saying? So it depends on who you're around and who you respect as number 1. Right. You know, and that's what it is. You know what I'm saying? But this dude right here, man, the reason why Conan has some of the best products out in barbecue in the Bay Area is because of him. Not because he taught me, but it's a science, and I perfected it because I wanted to be the best, because I had to.
Yeah, he go through it now. He makes sure it's right all the time.
You know, so.
And will get rid of you if you ain't the right one.
Right, and I'm gonna tell you about this dude right here. You know, he's retired, so he's doing me a favor by coming here helping me out. This my right hand man, and
Good.
he teaches these guys, that my workers. He said he come here to work. You know, so he said he paid me to work, so I'm coming to work. You know what I'm saying? So, and that's the thing. So he's an older guy, so now the young guys, they come in and they work a little bit better. You know what I'm saying? So he's needed here. You know what I'm saying?
So I have to say something about Larry too.
Go ahead.
Talk to me.
Larry, he taught me a lot about AMI,
Right.
which is a Marine Institute.
Right.
I mean, the magic that he did with kids, young teenage males, was taking them,
That's his calling.
Right, juvenile justice. He's an expert, and I mean, the things that he taught me a lot. I mean, 90% of how to interact with those type of students, that was Larry. Larry was, if Larry wasn't there that day, I would think that whole school would be like ready to rumble. Yeah. So I, as a professional, as a person, I have a lot of respect for Larry, a lot.
Yeah, but Saba, you was a brain to the school though. It wasn't no secret.
Thank
you.
you.
You was a brain.
So
I get to it.
I don't think y'all realize I only met Saba through LA because I was coming out to get a job at TMI at the time, and they had a director. He played football. You remember this story? He played football at Southern Miss, and Saba introduced me to the guy. He's gonna potentially be my boss. And I said, he said, I played football. I said, what position you play? He said, I played strong safety. I said, I'd have killed your ass. And Saba said, well, you're not getting the job.
That's probably why you didn't.
I know.
Get it, right?
You said, well, after the interview, you said, well, you know you're not gonna get the job.
Yeah, he was kind of emotional about that. You messed that up.
I wasn't really worried about it, but everything worked out, man.
Good day.
It was fun.
Those were the good days.
It was lots of fun, but I learned so much. So much about human character and the industry that I work for juvenile justice. You cannot go into that unless you undress and be authentic.
You see, so what LA has, so anytime you teach in the inner city, the kids know, they know if you're real or not. And so he only know one way. Let's get it. Hard work. Let's get it. You know what I'm saying? So when the kids come in there with all that rah, hey, come on, man, let's stop that now. Do what we're going to do. We're going to do this right here.
Yes.
And they fall in line because they know he truly cares.
Yes.
If you want to reach an inner city kid, come in there with some fake stuff. They'll run your ass right up out of there. I promise you. But now I'm going to tell you, but if they realize that you're real, they're going to respect you and they're going to love you. They're going to do your job. It's an easy job.
It became the best place to work.
Yeah.
It became the best place. And although
Go ahead, so.
although I was the academic person there.
The head academic.
Right, the head
Put it right
academic.
now. We won't pay him now. Go ahead.
I knew that I had a learning curve. I had to get that from Larry. So thank you, Larry.
Thank you, Miss Saba.
You're welcome.
You was the best, baby.
Thank you.
Hey, I look up to both of these, not because I can eat free. I can eat at home. But these two are real role models.
Thank you.
For real. Like,
Thank you.
she do it secretly, and he do it verbally.
Yeah.
Straight up.
Thank you.
All right, bro.
Appreciate you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yes.
So.
Yeah, so we're about ready to wind it down now.
Yeah. So you have any situations where you want to talk about being number two, or you had a
I
situation,
think,
or you was always number one? You was blessed to always be number one, huh? Just ask me.
Hey, I don't play number two. I don't play the role of number
Right,
two
right.
too. So,
But Saba, before you go, before you answer that question, number two, it's sometimes it's like in a relationship too. You know what I'm saying? So like a lot of women in today's time, yeah, they want to be number one. I make more money than you. Making more money shouldn't determine who's number one, who's number two.
I agree.
You know?
I agree with that.
So.
And that's why I say I play the role of being number two too. So
okay.
I don't really have a problem with number two, except when I'm number one. You know, in different areas. So you know, you fall in suit where you are. You know, you make the best of it. So, and because the objective is working together.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
That's the objective. And so now, guys, you have it. We talked about the pillars are having strong families and number two. So if you're number two or number one, always have respect for whatever position you're in, because both of them are very valuable.
That's it. That's it. I mean, it's nothing else I can say about that. You said it best. If one or two have respect,
Yes,
because if number one don't have respect for number two, then that's why number two want to be number one.
that's right.
But if number one respects number two, and number two then gonna respect number one even
Yes.
more, you know.
Yes, I
So
agree.
and that's how it is with me and KD.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So you spot on with that, Saba.
Okay, so thank you, Tampa Bay. Until the next time, stay well.
On the yo. 813, we're out. We'll see you in 2 weeks.
Yes.
Appreciate you.